If you are interested in new construction in the Triangle and you do not want to go out to the outskirts to find it, today's video is for you. Stick around.
So we're gonna be talking about 4 different areas today. It's really the most populated areas in our region. We're gonna talk about Raleigh, we're talking about Durham, Cary, and Chapel Hill. And we're gonna kick it off with Cary because that is where we are filming. So the first zip code in Cary where you can find actually the majority of new construction is 27519. 70% of the new construction in Cary is within this zip code. And the average price point of that new construction is $675,000. Now, most of that is townhomes, which is where we are now. We're actually in a neighborhood called Austin Landing. It's the MI Homes neighborhood. And if you start looking at single family, those numbers balloon way past 675. It gets you well into the $1 million range. But sticking with townhomes, the 600s is where you'll be for new construction in Cary in the zip code. And the zip code has a lot going on for it beyond just the residential that they're building. Yeah,
so when you're on this side of town in this zip code, you are really close to Durham and RTP. So if you have a job in Durham or the RTP area, or maybe one person works in one area, one person works in the other, this is gonna be a very convenient area to live because you have a highway access that's like really, really easy. You know, for shopping and stuff over here, you have like the Parkside Town Commons area, which has a lot. There's like a Target there and a lot of like chains and restaurants and definitely like easy access to get to those kinds of things. You're gonna feel a little further from like, you know, downtown Cary.
Yeah, it's the west side of Cary.
Yeah, on the west side. So things over here feel a little bit newer, I guess, and you know, maybe not exactly what you first envisioned like with Cary per se, but you do still have a lot of good access to a lot of the shopping and amenities and just really good highway access.
Yeah, for sure. The next zip code in Cary where you can find the most new construction is 27513. Now this is northwest Cary. Not nearly as much new construction in this one as in the last zip code, but it is about 15% of the total inventory of new construction. Townhomes also dominate here with the average price point of $570,000. The neighborhood that's producing the most of this inventory is Muse at Preston Ridge, which is a townhome development.
Yeah, and on that side of Cary, I feel like you have maybe a little better access into Cary than you did in our prior one. You know, you've got, you're just like a 10-minute drive to downtown Cary and downtown Cary Park. You're super close to Fenton, which is a new shopping development in Cary. Bond Park is within the zip code. So if you're like, I've got to be,
really nice.
Yeah, like, it's really nice. So if you're like, I've got to be close to parks and things like that, you might prefer that zip code over the previous one. But obviously highway access in the first one is really appealing as well. But you do have a lot of shopping really close by in the zip code.
For sure.
In Durham, there are 2 zip codes that are dominating on the new construction side. One of those zip codes taking over 50% of the active new construction in the area, and that is 27703.
Yeah, 27703 just absolutely dominates the new construction scene in Durham. Now that is east, kind of southeast Durham. It borders up to Briar Creek, and there's a ton of neighborhoods on that side of town. You're talking the Falls Village neighborhood by Stanley Martin. This is a 55+ community off Highway 98. Literally right across the street from there is Triple Crown, which is a neighborhood by Lennar. I mean, it's literally just new neighborhood after new neighborhood after new neighborhood on that side of town.
Solera is right there. There's so many, like when you're just driving past.
Yeah, and the average price point in that zip code is $450,000.
Yep. So it's definitely gonna be an affordable option, especially comparing it to Cary. So it's a great place to go if you want new construction, you wanna be in a city, not out on the outskirts, and still stay like in the 4s. Like that's definitely possible in the 27703 area. When you're out there, I feel like it kind of has this mix of like, everything kind of feels newish out there, but it also has a little bit of a rural, kind of still feel that. But right when you like just exit that zip code, when you get to Briar Creek, that's the airport. That's so much shopping. really easy access to pretty much every highway when you're in that zip code. So this is a very convenient place to live, especially if you do want to get into Raleigh easily. It is not a long
Or
drive.
just need to get to the Research Triangle Park quickly or the airport quickly. And there's other amenities too. The first Publix that came to Durham was in that zip code. You got really cool places like the Zinc House, which I haven't been because I don't know, it's like a wine. It's like a winery.
Well, you have to be 21 and up to go, and we have 4 kids under the age of 5, so we don't frequently, you know, go places.
Yeah, but it's a neat like local. It's a neat local winery that's on that side of town. So there are a lot of things. There's a new aquatic center coming to what's that park?
Merrickmore Park.
Merrickmore
so that's
Park.
going to be exciting once it happens. Merrickmore Park is there. I think one drawback to 27703 outside of Merrickmore Park is it does feel like it's maybe a little far from like things to do with kids. And that leads
That's going to change though with that aquatic center.
The aquatic center is going to really change that, which I'm really, really excited about that. So you probably are going to feel like, oh, to do the big playgrounds and stuff, I'm heading closer to like the Briar Creek area and into like Northwest Raleigh.
Yeah, for sure. The other zip code in Durham that dominates the new construction scene is 27704. This is going to be on the northeast side of Durham. The average price point in this zip code is $350,000. Mostly townhomes over here being built. So Bull City North is a Lennar neighborhood building townhomes. That's one example of the neighborhoods you'll find on that side of town. But that side of town has a lot going for it outside of the new construction as well. Like there's a lot of really cool things in 27704. It's a lot of numbers, y'all. You have the Museum of Life and Science over that way, which is like the best place to take kids in Durham. It's so much fun having that easy access to that. You're gonna have really easy access into downtown and also to Highway 85. 147 is not gonna be too far off of there either. If you're into hiking and being at the Eno, you have a lot of good access points to the Eno River in 27704. So if you kind of want that feel of like, oh, I'm a little closer to, you're not in a rural area, but as you continue heading north from that way, it's gonna feel more rural. So it might feel like quieter without having like to really sacrifice being close to downtown. So it is a nice little pocket. Yeah, and Cindy always talks about Chick-fil-A. Her favorite Chick-fil-A is in this zip code out of all the areas. It is a good one. It is a good one. Customer service there is really good.
I mean, all Chick-fil-A's
very efficient.
Are so efficient, but this one is like top notch. I'm like, how do they do it? They're always like winning awards. They were like, we got the most cars through the drive-through in an hour of any Chick-fil-A in the country.
Which I don't doubt it.
A lot of times.
I don't doubt it.
Like it's really cool.
It's really efficient. I don't remember if I mentioned the price point, but it is $350,000, which is going to be the lowest price point of all the areas we're talking about today.
Yeah. And if you were thinking about new construction in Chapel Hill, good luck to you. There were only 58 new construction home sales in the last year, which is crazy. Most of those sales being within 2 different zip codes.
Yeah, and so I almost did not include Chapel Hill on this video for that reason, because is there even a point in including it? But we are talking about the main areas of the region, and Chapel Hill is one of those, so we have to include it. But 27516 is one of those zip codes, so that's gonna be the west side, pretty far west Chapel Hill when you're looking at the zip code, and even south Chapel Hill. And that's gonna include large neighborhoods like Briar Chapel, which is no longer building in there, but that's one of those larger neighborhoods, kind of like Wendell Falls in Wendell. But new construction in this area is gonna average $1 million. So both zip codes in, both zip codes in Chapel Hill are very much on the expensive side. So $1 million for this particular zip code. A good, dadgummit, this bug. One good example of a new construction neighborhood in this zip code is Sanderway, which is a J. Fuller Homes neighborhood. And that, again, the price points are just higher on this side of town.
Yeah, it's not a cheap place to live anywhere within Chapel Hill, but the new construction side is definitely going to be in that 1 million range. Something really interesting about these zip codes, about 42% of adults that live in this zip code have at least a master's degree. So if you are looking to live somewhere where education—
Was that on the script?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah, it was. Where education is like super important to you. This is gonna have some of the best public schools in not only the Triangle, but in the state of North Carolina, and that rank high nationally, which makes sense with parents who all have master's degrees and PhDs. Obviously, you have a lifestyle of feeling like education is very important. And you also have the University of North Carolina, UNC, right there. So, you just have a lot of that kind of going on in that region, and it's just a very high income earning area in general, which kind of leads to those high home prices.
For sure. The next zip code in Chapel Hill is 27517. This is on the east side of Chapel Hill and south. Both of these zip codes kind of like circle downtown and then basically go south. And so that's, you know, the southern side is where you end up with the vast majority of the new construction. And so this zip code goes south as well. So you have neighborhoods in there like Governor's Club, where there's still lots you can buy. You can build a custom home in Governor's Club. Neighborhoods like Westfall, where ICG is building or AAA Homes is building. Average price point in this zip code for new construction is $900,000. And again, like when you talk about new construction in Chapel Hill, like each of these zip codes have like 21 homes in the last year that was built. And so just very, very, very small amounts. There's just not a lot of options in Chapel Hill for new construction. And if there are options, those options are very expensive.
Yeah, for sure. It's an expensive place to live. And both of these, as you get further and further south, you're kind of heading more into like the Chatham County area. You might, a lot of Chapel Hill is in Orange County. This part is, some parts are gonna go into Chatham County, which does feel a little bit more like removed from the rest of the triangle. So you definitely wanna keep that in mind in the home search. So next on our list is Raleigh. So we are here in Raleigh. I'm sorry, we are in different clothes because when we were filming this yesterday, it started raining. So here we are again to finish out this video in different clothes than yesterday. But we're in Raleigh, where we are gonna talk about two zip codes that are account for over half of the new construction in Raleigh. So a lot of it are in these two zip codes, starting with 27603.
Yeah, so 27603 is the South Raleigh zip code. This splits Garner from Fuquay. So if you're looking at a map, it literally splits it down the middle. This is a pretty loaded zip code in terms of both neighborhoods, but also things to do. So in 27603, one example of a neighborhood is Exchange at 401, which is a Pulte neighborhood. Average price points in the zip code for new construction is $500,000. But you also have, you know, some higher priced neighborhoods within this zip code as well. But it packs a punch with things to do. So something like Dix Park is in this particular zip code, which is really cool. Yeah,
and Dix Park just opened this huge play plaza. They're not even calling it a playground. They're calling it I think it's like a playscape or something. I don't know, but it's supposed to be like the biggest one in the country. It is huge, so definitely a great thing to take advantage of if you're living in this zip code. There's a Costco here, you've got Chick-fil-A here, you've got just a lot of good highway access. So definitely, even though it can feel a little bit more rural out here, I feel like you definitely still have a lot of conveniences.
Yeah, for sure. The next zip code in Raleigh is 27610. So this is on the southeast of Raleigh. Average price point here is $390,000 for the new construction. A good example of a neighborhood is actually the one we're in, which is Edge of Auburn. It's a Lennar neighborhood. Yep, and this zip code doesn't have quite as much access to the shopping and stuff as the other zip code did, but you are super close to Garner here. So most people that are gonna be in this vicinity, you're probably going into Garner actually, like the White Oak Shopping Center is really big there. There's Target, all kinds of things in the White Oak Shopping Center. If you've ever been to Walnut Creek, or they renamed it Coastal Credit Union Music Pavilion. It's a big outdoor music pavilion in Raleigh. It's also in the zip code, so if you're big into concerts and stuff, could be a good place to live, super close by. But yeah, this definitely does have a more rural feel, but as you're driving out here, it's like just new neighborhood after new neighborhood after new neighborhood when you drive through. So I feel like this area in general is gonna have a very different look to it within like the next 5 years. For sure, and just to put like the distance in perspective, proximity to like that shopping center in Garner. So this neighborhood, Edge of Auburn, I mean, you're like a 10-minute drive to that shopping center in Garner. So you're super, super, super close to shopping, even in the zip code, even if you have to leave the zip code to get to it. So if you are looking for new construction, I hope this video helps confirm you don't have to go to the outskirts to find it. You can literally find it in the major cities within our region. And sometimes you can find it affordable. Like I think there's some really good examples of affordable new construction within our region. But we're Zach and Cindy Honeycutt, a couple of real estate agents in the area. So if you are looking to buy or sell, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can find our contact info below, and you can also find us on Instagram. Yep, we'd love to have you connect with us over on Instagram. You can find us at the Honeycutt Realtors or at the RDU Buzz, and we look forward to connecting with you there. Yep, see you next time.